Kenny, wake up.
What? Oh, man. Was I having another one of my Bob tentacle dreams that I have all the time now?
You were.
Oh, huh. Okay. Well, weird. What's going on back in the main continuity again?
Well, we got away from those cooler bot alien hybrids, and we're back on our ship, and I don't know about you, man, but I need to get the hell out of this wet jungle.
Yeah, man, for real. But, like, where can we even go where there isn't any water? Wait!
Of course!
The desert planet Ryushi! Duh! Alright. Setting a course right now.
Oh shit. Are you shitting me? Something is banging on the cargo bay doors.
Alright, checking the cameras. Oh, unshitting believable.
Is it another shitting cooler bot hybrid?
No, it's Cooler Bot. The actual Cooler Bot.
What?
Can you fucking go get him, please?
It's about shitting time.
Cooler bot! I missed you so much. Get in here so we can blast off.
Okay, I'm coming. But, Neil, before we go, I have something really important that I need to tell you.
Oh yeah? What's that, little buddy?
It's pronounced Yautja.
Yeah, I've heard. Welcome to Crew Expendable. I am Company Ramrod Hallstrom.
And I am Ambulatory Penis Rohrbacher.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
I told you I was going to go with it.
And we're just a couple of space ranchers herding space cows through the alien universe. You threw me off.
It was your idea for me to use it, dude.
I knew it was coming, but then hearing it was different. We're a couple space cowboys.
Yeah, we're space ranchers, baby. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeehaw and such.
And this is Crew Expendable. It's alien. There's aliens here, so we're Crew Expendable again.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Even though we consider AVP a separate franchise from A and P, since there is aliens here, it's still just the normal alien show.
And I'm back, baby.
You sure are.
Yeah. Thanks for holding it down last episode.
No problem. I was just going to wait to put out an episode, and it was actually your idea to do that. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I never would have thought of that because, like, I didn't know anyone else personally that had seen Badlands. But Bob is like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. And so we did it.
Yeah, shout out to Bob for jumping in as co-host. You and Bob had a nice discussion about Badlands. I have not listened to it past the intro because I haven't seen Badlands yet, and I didn't want it spoiled for me.
We do not have the same opinion about the movie. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, I know how you feel about it, so I got a hint about how Bob feels about it, and that's
So there you go.
But I bet that made for a good discussion.
I haven't listened to the episode yet, but I was there when it was recorded, and I remember thinking it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah. Bob, thank you for jumping in. We love you. And hey, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Oh, I didn't know it was Bob's birthday. Happy belated birthday to Bob.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, as of this recording. And I didn't know either. I just saw it on Discord.
Well, happy birthday, Bob, either way.
But I'm here now. We're talking Aliens versus Predator comic books from 1990.
We sure are.
The promised episode.
And what a comic book it is, that's for sure.
What? Look, okay. Opinions up top. What? We only read 2 issues. This is issues 1 and 2. Okay, we read
We had already read issue 0, but yeah,
we read issue 0. Right. This is technically a 5-issue series. Issues 0 through 4. Right.
Yeah.
What did you think of this half?
I didn't really like it that much.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really like it that much.
Man, I was digging this. There are faults. There are plenty of them. No, well, not plenty of them. There are a few, but I was digging the way that this was unfolding. I was digging the pacing. I was feeling it.
Yeah, the pacing was my biggest issue. I thought these 2 issues were extremely boring. While I was reading it, every page or two, I would remember the your big complaint about stuff that you think takes too long. Stop wasting my time. And 80% of the stuff in these issues, I was like, can we just fucking get on with it, please?
I didn't feel like this was wasting my time, man.
Yeah, I definitely did.
I felt like this was building extremely well, and it was teasing the action where it needed to. It was teasing what was coming. I thought it gave us some early Predator action, even if it wasn't extended. It gave us the alien hive reveal right when it needed to, and right at the halfway point, much like the movie Alien. Right, we're getting the reveal of what's coming next, and shit's about to go off the rails.
This to me definitely felt like one issue of content spread out over 2 issues of comic book. That's what it felt like to me.
Okay.
Everything was just kind of dragging and taking forever, and it's just page after page of people standing around talking about horses, and it's like, I don't care, man.
Right.
I don't have a problem with the xenomorphs not being around until way into the comic, because that's generally how alien stories are structured. But they're also doing that with the predators, because we saw one shot of them earlier. And then there was the one, and then I suppose they actually did show up a little earlier when that action scene with the scientist. But it's it felt like if you're barely going to show us any xenomorphs, at least balance that out by giving us some extra predator, and they didn't do that either. And so most of the comic is just a bunch of people that we've never met before standing around talking about stuff that I'm not interested in. And so I was just going through it, and it was just dialogue scene after dialogue scene, and I'm like, man, can we just fucking get on with it, please?
Yeah, it's called world building. And we got to see the Predators murder a family.
We did, which is another issue that I had with the book, because that felt extremely out of character for a Predator to me.
I actually have an issue with that as well. Yeah, that is not I'm not putting that in the positive column.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where even if I wasn't going to be reading the second half anyway, I would be reading the second half, just because I'm like, all right, this needs to turn around and have a chance to get better. They built an entire franchise out of this comic, so clearly there's something worthwhile here. It's got to be in the second half of the book.
All right. Well,
so I would be reading the second half regardless, is my point.
I may spend this episode trying to convince you, and that may be a futile effort.
It might be. I mean, It might not be, depending on your arguments, but it might be, yeah.
Yeah, but let's jump into this bad boy. Again, we are reading the 1990, the original Aliens versus Predator. I mumble that word all the time. You guys know what I'm saying. Aliens versus Predator comic series from Dark Horse Comics. Written by Randy Stradley. These 2 issues penciled by Phil Norwood. Inked by Mark Probst.
I believe that's also the people that did issue 0.
I believe so. Yeah, Phil Norwood also did issue 0. Randy Stradley also wrote it. Colored by Monica Livingston. She did this miniseries. Remember, issue 0 was colored later on.
Yeah.
And covers for this series by Phil Norwood. I am reading this out of the Dark Horse Collected Edition from 1991, it looks like.
Yeah, the one I am reading. Actually, this might be the individual issues now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, this is a
I
first edition from December 1991. Not to brag.
Yeah, I thought I was reading the trade that had the main miniseries and also issue 0 in it, but looking at it now, I think it's actually just the individual issues.
Sure. Yeah, you're reading it in an alternative method that we won't discuss on the
That's
podcast. Right. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, but since you brought it up, yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Well, you dropped your confusion about the format you're reading it in probably spelled that out for enough people. So,
That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive into this bad boy. What I think is interesting about this trade is that there's quotes that lead off the chapters. So this is chapter 4 in the trade because remember, the issue 0 was originally 3 chapters printed in Dark Horse Presents.
Yeah.
And chapter 4 is titled, quote, Somebody's Idea of Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a little opening description of the planet Ryushi at the edge of the Chigusa Corporation's holdings in the Beta Cygni system. The only human outpost out here is Prosperity Wells with a population of 113, which is primarily made up of freelance ranchers and their families, plus a token staff of corporate overseers.
That's all true, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I didn't really have anything else, so yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, I don't either. One thing I want to say before I forget to, we don't see it in here, but I guess we see it at the end of this issue. We see like the printout from the doctor. Kind of, we can sort of read out like the doctor's research. And then at the opening of the next issue, we see like a map of Prosperity Wells with like all of the structures identified. I just like that shit, man. You know how I talk a lot about like not being able to figure out the geography of places when we're watching, in movies sometimes, in comic books especially. So I like being given a map. Plus, this would be like some handy dandy stuff if you're going to like use this as a location for like a, I don't know, alien role-playing game campaign that you're setting up for yourself.
Theoretically, that could be possible, but somebody would have to do that first, which is a crazy idea.
Theoretically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
I just like that. I like extras like that, It helps bring the world alive. So when they go through that much, like when they add that kind of detail to a book, it scores extra points for me. Anyway, the first issue opens up with a spaceship flying towards the planet Ryushi. This is the Predator, I think the Predator seed ship that we kind of saw in issue 0, right?
It sure is, yes.
And this whole book is narrated by our main character,
Noguchi.
Like she's telling it after the fact, right? Like she's telling the story of what happened here after the fact.
Yeah, Machiko, I think. Machiko Noguchi.
Yes, and she's like the new, pardon this term, HBIC of this colony.
That's right.
She's taking over for the former Hiroki, the former head of this colony, the former HBIC.
Shimura.
Hiroki Shimura. And nobody likes her.
And yeah, everyone liked him. Nobody likes her.
Because she's like cold and corporate and just like sitting in her office and thinking she can do everything by the book and by the numbers and not getting her hands dirty. So all the ranch hands like fucking hate her because she's just like an executive, right?
She sure is.
Anyway, we'll learn more about that later.
We sure will.
But she's narrating this whole thing and she's talking about how this terror came from the stars and it wasn't indigenous. And shit's about to go nuts, right?
I also found it really funny because, like, part of the thing she's having, part of the narration, is her talking about how a big issue is how it gets so hot here because they have twin suns, and so there's only night for like 6 hours a day or something.
Yeah.
And I was reading that, and it's funny to me how early on in Predator stories, that was actually something that mattered. Then, between Predator 2 and Predators, they just stopped caring about it being hot whenever the story takes place, and they're just like, oh, it's just whatever now, it's fine.
Yeah, they just hunt whenever the fuck. Yeah.
It's fine.
That is a good point, right? There was that whole monologue in Predator about how this happens, the hunt happens in the hottest months, and then in Predator 2, it was like hot LA summer.
Yeah, they made sure to set the movie during a heat wave because in the first movie they're like the predators hunt when it's really, really hot. But then in the in 20 years or whatever it was, the gap between Predator 2 and Predators, the movie stopped being like, yeah, that doesn't matter anymore. It's fine.
In AVP, they're like at the North Pole.
Yeah.
They're just in the fucking ice. They're just like, yeah,
that's true.
It's the North Pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they thrive in the snow, it turns out. Or maybe that's why they got their asses kicked in AVP.
Maybe. Could be.
It was too cold for them.
But yeah, that was so important at the beginning stages of the franchise. And then after a little while, they're like, actually, we don't care about that anymore. We're going to stop using that as a plot point. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not like the planet is going to get hotter and hotter as the years go on. Like, this is not going to be important at all.
Yeah, for not even a little, for sure. Jeez. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I want to say I like that this planet is old Western. Right.
Yeah, it is kind of, It's very cowboy centric.
Yeah, it's like Utah deserts or something. Yeah. There's like cliffs and, like skeletons of dead space cows.
And there's even like a little scorpion guy running around.
Space scorpions and everything.
Yeah.
You get like that Western iconography, Arizona deserts or, wherever. But it's space, man. And this is like a different environment than we had really seen. I mean, obviously different than we had seen in any of the Alien or Predator movies at this point. Or, I haven't read the Predator miniseries, but different than the Aliens miniseries, right?
Yeah.
So we're in a new environment here. And I just think that that's very cool. And then we go to Prosperity Wells, right?
Yeah, we go inside of it to the command center, and we got some people manning the computer that are colored extremely pink.
Yes, I like the coloring in this book, dude. I really like it.
That's not necessarily a good or bad thing. I just thought it was an interesting choice, is all.
It's classic looking, right? It's just a before digital coloring. This is just like a classic sort of Dark Horse coloring style.
It sure is.
I like the shots of the colonies. I like seeing the structures, that they've propped up. And I like seeing the command center that looks very much like the command center in Aliens. They got a weather vane, though. That's a little different. A little more old Western theme. I really like the art in the creaking. Book. But the command center has picked up whatever this ship is that has entered the atmosphere on the long-range scanners. And they're like, we need to alert we need to alert the bosses, right? So they call up Mr. Shimura, but they get Miss Noguchi instead, and they're like, oh, we have a message from Mr. Shimura, and she's like, yeah, well, I'm the boss. You should give me the message. And the guy's
and he's like,
okay. Well, we picked up a thing entering the atmosphere, and it's probably going to hit. So just letting you know, boss, it'll make planet falling about 30 clicks north of here in open pasture, right? And she's like, well, don't worry about it then. We'll check it out later.
Yeah, she's like, it's open pasture, so it's not going to hit anything we need to worry about, and it's way too hot to send people out anyway, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know, though.
Them, in comparison to like the temporary structures and, the hot exterior shots, we see like her like comfortable corporate office with her Mies van der Rohe couch and her coffee table, and is that a fish tank behind her?
Yeah, looks like it.
And she's just like inside smoking a cigarette, and she's just like talking to Hiroki, and she's like, why don't they like me? And he's like, what do you think? Like, you're trying to make the job adapt to you. You're not adapting to the job, right? You're just sitting here in your office. Maybe you should go out there and make an effort to like get to know these people and get your hands dirty and all of the things I already said. right? These are people out there, you know.
And her response is basically like, fine.
Yes. So, criticism one that I have, that immediately she's like, yeah, he's right. I need to do that. And it's a very quick about face for her, like a very quick turnaround for her.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a little bit more interesting if she had already like had this revelation and we had been introduced to her already trying to endear herself to the colony, as opposed to just suddenly having this conversation that has changed her mind, right? Because it's not believable that in one conversation she's going to change her mind.
I also find it weird because I believe at one point they say she's been the head for like 6 months.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
weird to me that she never had that thought before, and they have never had this conversation before.
100%. Yes, I'm with you on that completely. It's too quick of a turnaround, right?
Yeah.
So that I was a little bit like, all right, this is kind of cheesy, right? But then she has more like monologuing as we see the crater where the impact was, and we see a little scorpion crawling around, and a large beetle vehicle crawl out, crush the scorpion, and start pooping out ovomorphs, right?
That's right.
And she's
it's one of the seed ships that we saw in episode 0 has landed on Ryushi.
Yes, and this is when she's having her internal monologue where she's like, maybe Hiroki is right. Maybe I'm trying to do everything by the book and it's not giving me the results I need, so I need to take another approach because what's the saying? You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, right as it's like dropping eggs.
Yeah.
All right, a little on the nose writing. I'll give you that, but it works.
And then we cut to the actual ranchers themselves, led by this guy named Ackland.
Sure. What do they call him? Big A? Fast A?
Flying A, I think.
Flying A?
Something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, we got this guy Ackland.
Shittin' A.
Who, Shittin' A. There we go. And him and the rest of the ranchers are complaining about how they don't like the deal in the contract they signed and they want a better deal. And
I like that they've been doing this for this long and now they're like, you know what, this contract sucks.
Yeah, now that it's actually time to, bring the harvest in, they're like, actually, we should be getting more money for this.
I also like that Shimura is in full-on safari gear.
1800s explorer gear. He's literally wearing a pith helmet and everything.
He looks like the hunter in Jumanji.
He sure does. And so, yeah, Ackland is kind of like the leader of these ranchers. I don't know if he's like an unofficial de facto leader or if he actually has like authoritative powers over them. But he's the one leading the conversation that's being like, yeah, this contract we signed stinks and we want better money. And Shimura's like, well, the market just happened to turn that way. You could have made money or you could have been losing money. It's just pure luck. And he goes, but the luck turned out to be in our favor, so we want that damn money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's like, take it up with, the new boss, right?
And then immediately Ackland goes, what, that bitch? And that's the first of several times in a row where they straight up just call her a bitch in this comic for no reason at all.
Yeah, they make a lot of terrible comments about her. A lot of misogyny towards her.
There sure is.
From these cowfolk, right?
Yeah, and then, literally the panel after they call her that, the next panel is two dudes discussing what it would be like to have sex with her.
Yes. And how she's so frigid, your crank would probably freeze off.
Just real good stuff all around, guys.
Yeah, 1990, everybody.
And then she immediately steps into the middle of the conversation and starts trying to take it over. And straight up just says, Ackland, you know what, dude? fine, fuck it. I'll talk to the company and see if they'll be willing to give you a larger share. It's fine, whatever, just do it. All right.
Yeah, but there won't be anything for any of you if your Rinth aren't ready for shipment by the time the Lector arrives. Rinth are the space cows, right?
They sure are. They're sort of cows, they're sort of rhinos, they're sort of horses, but they're mainly cows that have big, like, stegosaurus spike tusks coming out of the top of their noses.
Yeah, they got like two spiked tusks. They have like leathery skin, we learn later on through a comment. They call them something else. They have like a name for them, like nose tuskers or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, something like I don't remember what it is either. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But the Lector is the ship that we were following the conversation between. Was it Scott and Bob in issue 0?
Was that their
I believe so.
Conversation?
I believe so because they show up in this issue.
They sure do. So yeah, I guess it was them.
Yeah.
Yes. Shit.
Yeah, I don't think
I actually noticed that until right now when you pointed it out.
Because I don't think they had time to get where they were going and grab another ship and fly out here. I believe the sort of maybe retconned story for them, or maybe built off of what they had established in issue 0, because issue 0 was written the previous year.
Yeah.
And then published as issue 0 alongside these issues is it was then like this story was written out of those events, right? Even though it's
it was like they just made the original comic that we now know as issue 0, and then later on afterwards they were like, hey, let's do an AVP miniseries and base it off of the events of that one-off comic we already did. And so they kind of like retconned those events into the events of this book.
Right. If I have this correct, we followed Top Knot's the Predator, the Yautja, hunting party, Top Knot's hunting party in issue 0. And in this series, we are following Broken Tusks.
Yes, that is correct.
And
I didn't realize it was him until I was reading the Xenopedia article afterwards, and they said that Broken Tusk was there, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even notice that was him. Okay.
Same here. In these 2 issues, you never see Broken Tusk. His face is covered, and then his mouth is covered. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But hey, shout out again, as always, to the hard work that the Xenopedia folks do. You guys help us out a lot. So, yeah, we love you.
You're a lot more detail-oriented than I am, that's for sure.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unironically, I go to that website all the time for research on this show.
Yep, and we like to make sure we're giving you guys credit when you fill in the gaps for us. Anyway, let's continue on. I do want to make a comment about Ackland and his appearance. If you guys want to know what Ackland looks like, because he is a major character, picture a Texas cowboy guy.
Yep.
He is
full beard, big, huge 10-gallon hat. Yeah.
Wide. He's very wide, right?
He's very wide. He's wearing a long leather jacket with leather fringes on it. Yeah.
Oil baron looking dude, right?
He sure is. Oil baron looking ass MF. That's him.
Yeah. It's not someone you'd want to probably have a conversation with.
I know I wouldn't. He seems very unpleasant.
He probably has a lot of opinions on why you should have butter and not margarine.
That's right.
All right. So she's like, get your Rinths, get your space cows ready to go because the Lector's on its way. And we got a 33 hour days here, right? So you got to stagger your sleep schedules to make sure your shipments are ready to go on time. And get the fuck back to work, everybody. And I will talk to the company about increasing your cuts.
And then so her and Shimura get on hover bikes and fly off. I don't know where it is that they're actually going. She just says, we're going out. And I don't know where they're actually planning on going to. But as they fly away, we cut back to just out on the plains, and one of these Rinth guys is just stomping around, and he comes up to an ovomorph, and it opens up, and then a facehugger leaps out at him while the Rinth goes, eh.
Yeah, and so as that Rinth is getting face hugged, Machiko's doing more narration about how like this is the longest she spent outdoors since arriving on Ryushi.
Which is honestly kind of pathetic if you think about it.
And so she's like finally doing her job, right?
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm finally starting to understand the ranchers. So I guess what she's really doing is making her rounds to all the different ranchers, right? Checking out all of the herds, making sure everybody's good to go, like in person, because she catches up with them later, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" Right? And she's like, "We're doing the rounds."
Yeah.
Because we do catch up with her again. After what's his face, big man. Ackland. After Ackland has told one of his helpers, whose name is Roth, he's told her to take some of the boys and run some of the Rinths, I guess, down to the gullies.
Yeah, to take them down to another rancher that's further down the valley.
To hook up with Cho's group, right?
Yeah.
And Hiroki and Machiko arrive, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You gonna call into Earth and report on us or something, right?" And she's like, little Signy doesn't let us call Earth during the day. And this is where we learn that the two sons are Little Signy and Big Signy. And little context clues there.
They sure are.
So she's like, no, but I'm going to do all I can to get you a bigger cut, you giant asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, she's like, we're making the rounds, because I can't contact them until this evening anyway. So we're going around seeing what everyone needs, what all the ranchers needs, what we can do to help. And he goes, "You can fucking help by staying out of my fucking way, woman."
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I kind of get it. I know I've been a bitch to all these people, which, again, I will side with you on this. It is very quick turnaround and self-realization for her, right? Which again, I think if we had caught up with her in the midst of trying to like win everybody over, if there had been story that happened before this issue began, where she had already been on this path towards like rectifying her behavior at the beginning of her tenure here, this would have just been, I would have been able to swallow this a little easier. Right. Especially if like Ackland here was like the big holdout and everybody else was like, come on, man, she's not so bad. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's not the story they made. So here we are.
Right. And then we see the sunset, right? The double sunset.
We sure do. And she implies that it's like the first one she'd seen. And she definitely explicitly states it's the last one she sees that she's pleased with seeing.
She's like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, right? This is more beautiful than a plastic bag floating in the wind. It's a little American Beauty reference for everyone.
I got it.
Canceled movie.
Everyone's favorite movie with everyone's favorite actor in it. That's right.
Pretty bad movie, honestly. A lot of problems in that movie if you really get down to it. She's like, this is the last time I'd ever enjoy this sundown. Last time I'd ever view it with anything other than dread, which is a hint that things are going to break bad.
Yeah, which is actually something I did like about this book. It reminded me of, like, I like that moment where she's like, oh yeah, from now on, every time I see that sunset, I'm going to hate it. It reminds me of when Stephen King does that shit, where, like, a character will be talking to someone in a conversation, and then the narration would be like, little did Sue know at the time that this would be the last time she would ever see Robert alive. And he would just like throw that into the narration, and you go, oh shit, something's gonna fucking go down, but you don't know what, and you have to keep reading the book to find out. It reminded me of that, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I like that. I like those little kinds of things like that. That stuff is fun.
Does that mean Robert's gonna die soon, or is Sue just gonna move away from Robert and not see him for like 40 years, and then he's going to pass away from natural causes?
That's right.
Stay tuned.
Thrilling stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, while the sunset is happening, we cut to orbit,
Yeah.
and
And the lector. Yeah.
we cut to the Lecter flying in, and as it does, we suddenly just have like a panel of a whole bunch of predators piloting a ship that is given to us context
It's
free.
a
There's just suddenly a shot of a bunch of predators, and you're just like,
well, here's
okay,
something I like. Okay, so we're getting dialogue from Tom and Scott, who we met in Issue 0, right? And Tom's like, "Hello there, Ryushi. What a dust ball, eh?" Right.
That's right.
And then Scott's like, "Damn, Tom, what kind of mouth breather would want to move all the way out to this hellhole?" And Tom's like, "I don't know. I don't know." I lost my accent.
You sure did.
"I don't know, Scott, but I just bet you Ryushi is somebody's idea of a paradise." And then it cuts to the predators, like with that line, Ryushi is somebody's idea of a paradise. And I like that that's a kind of teasing that I like in a story, right?
Oh yeah, they did that earlier, like when the shot with the Rinth getting face hugged,
Yes.
during the actual panel where the face hugger jumps out at him.
Oh, yeah.
The part of the monologue in that panel is something like, "I just hate it when I have to jump down people's throat to get them to do what I want," or something like
Machiko's
that.
like, "I've been jumping down their throats since day one."
Yeah, there we go.
Now, I like that stuff. I like a little bit when it's done a little more sparingly. That was 2 pages ago that happened.
It sure was.
It happens pretty often in this story. It is, because there was also
sure
that
does.
you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs as the ovomorphs are being dropped. It's it's clever writing, and it's fun, and I like it, but less is more maybe with some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, they've already done it at least 3 times that we pointed out just now, and we're only like halfway through the first issue.
I'm supposed to be convincing you that this book is better than you gave it credit for, and now I'm like, oh well, maybe this is a little. I'm still loving it though. I don't think I'm going to convince you though. All right.
The two of them arrive back at Control, and I don't know who. Some guy with like a shirt that has like red stripes on it, and he has like a very intense looking flat
So
top.
in my book, they're black and yellow stripes.
Oh, that's fun.
So you must have,
But
it's been recolored at some point.
could have been. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he hands Machiko a printout saying it is from the shuttle Masuko Maru. Letting them know that in a week, Shigeru Chigusa will be showing
One
up.
of the executives, right?
Well, it's the son of one of the executives.
Son of the Chigusa is the corporation that owns this colony, right? So it's this is like when that Utani kid showed up in Thaw, right?
Jun Utani,
with his
I believe
fucking
it was.
baseball bat. But this guy's going to show up with like a golf club. And then Thaw, we're gonna be like, oh, that was a reference. I get it now. Thaw's even better.
And then, yeah, it sure is. And then we cut out to Roth and Ackland. Roth just drove up to show Ackland something, and she's like, "Check this shit out." And she pulls out a dead face hugger, and he's like,
what the fuck? She's like, he's like, what the hell is this? And she goes, besides uglier than shit, I was hoping you could tell me. And
so they agree if it's something they'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And then she points out that she found it at Bariki Canyon, and there were a couple dozen of them lying around. That's fun. Oh, and here we go. That name you were looking for earlier, they call them poke snoots.
Yeah. That's where we scared up these poke snoots. They were stumbling around, bumping into each other, acting like they were half asleep. Right? That's how she talks.
I know for sure that's definitely how she talks. I mean, look at her.
Yeah, 100%. And she's like, maybe they're sick now. I don't know. And he's like, okay, you did the right thing by bringing these here, but don't tell anybody okay, because we don't want anyone to think that there's anything wrong with the Rinth, because it's time to like ship these guys out, right? We don't want some dickhead from the company to panic.
Which is very funny that you say that, because like that wasn't you editorializing. Listeners in the book, they literally say some dickhead from the company.
Yes, he says we don't want some dickhead from the company to panic.
I don't know why, but that line really made me laugh. The fact that they just like, I don't want to say the fact that they were allowed to call somebody a dickhead in the book necessarily. It just doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would be written in a comic book. And so I thought it was really funny.
He's the kind of, he would have said something worse, but you know,
yeah, that's
they
probably
toned
true.
it down, right? And she's like, okay, what do I do with these? And he goes, okay, well, give them to Dr. Revna, okay? But tell him you found them in a different place, Iwa Gorge, right? And he's like, I'm going to give you a bonus when this roundup is over. And she's like, well, why do you want me to tell him I found him over there? Why do you want me to tell him I found him over there? And he's...
And then yeah, that doesn't happen yet.
No, that's sorry. The doctor's like, oh, so we cut right to her giving him to the doctor, and he's like, oh, Iwa Gorge, I'm not familiar with that area, but I guess I got to become familiar with it. Tell Acklin that thank you. And she's like, okay, well, what do you make of it? And he's like,
yeah, that's his wife that says that,
okay,
by the way,
right.
because we see her later.
And she is also a doctor. Okay, all of you.
She is, yes.
She is. So, you know, I can't operate on is my son, you know, etc.
Yes, I got you.
Because she's the doctor also, everybody.
And we smash cut from there, and the two of them investigating this dead hugger to there is a couple of big tents set up with a big sign that says Prosperity Wells welcomes Lecter crew, and they're throwing a big party that Michiko seems to think is not necessary. And I don't remember Shimura's first name, so Shimura's like, dude, you gotta relax.
It's fucking party time, all right? And she's like, why? And he's like, look, they've been working hard, okay, for a long time, and now it's going to pay off for them. They deserve a party. If you want them on your side, let them have the fucking party. And she's like, okay, fine. All the kids are having fun. All the families are having fun. He's right. I gotta let this go and just let everybody have some fun for once.
Because as they mention that these people here are ranchers, but this is actually the first time they've done a harvest. Like they got here, started doing like the ranching, the harvesting and stuff, and this is like the first time they're shipping out their stuff. And so they're throwing a party because of their first successful harvest, as well as because the Lecter is here,
right? Yeah, and he also tells her that the home office called and approved the price hike for the ranchers, and he hasn't told anybody yet, so that she can deliver the good news to them to help kind of win everybody over. And she's like, I can't wait to see Acklin's face when I tell him he's getting more money. Let's see him hate me after that. And I have a feeling he hates her for more reasons than just that, you know. He probably hates her because she's a woman and Asian also.
Yeah, also true. Yes, on both counts. That, I mean, the two issues that we read, they never explicitly state that, but I did kind of get that vibe. Yeah.
You can sort of predict given his characteristics, right?
And so, Shimura is absolutely dressed like Ned Flanders here, and the two of them go up this ladder to like a big like watchtower to watch the Lecter come in.
Yeah, she's like, we're gonna watch the ship come in, and he's like, Oakley dokley.
And then
there it is, baby.
There it is, big and huge, and pulls in, and it does actually look pretty impressive. That is a very cool panel.
I'm going to compliment the art across the board in this book. I think I said it earlier. I really like the art. The penciling is great in this. The people look like people. They all look distinct. There's a lot of detail in the faces, and proportions are right, which is something that hasn't always been the case with alien books, especially some of the Marvel books early on.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the captains come out, and turns out that Scott and Tom are Scott Conover and Tom Strandberg, and they're the co-pilots of the Lecter. And Ackland explicitly introduces himself as the head of the Ranchers Association. So there you go.
And he's like, Captain, I'm Strandberg, but you can just call me Tom, isn't it? It's my co-worker's Scott.
Oi, Gov.
Bruv.
And then, bruv, that's right. And then at that point, Michiko gets up on a little conversation box to announce that
she literally stands like a hay bale.
Yeah. And she stands up to get everyone's attention. And is it Scott is the one that's like, who's the babe? And Ackland's like, you mean
he's like,
bitch?
wow, va boom, hawooga.
It's like, all right, man, we got it. And so she announces what order the ranchers are going to be loading their stuff up in, and then announces that the company gave their answer back on increasing their rates, and they said yes.
Yep. Ackland is loading first. He has a drink in both hands, I believe.
I believe he does.
It's hard to tell. He doesn't in the panel where he's shaking hands with the captains, but then when she's like, you will be getting the increase you requested, enjoy the party. It looks like he's holding a can in one hand and maybe a bottle in the other. I could be wrong.
It sure
but
does.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, it does look like that, even if that's not what they were intending to draw. It does look like he's double fisting.
And then in the next panel, maybe not in the next panel, he's just wearing his gloves, his rancher gloves, you know.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Fine. It's fine.
Lightweight, should be holding a bottle in both hands.
So, yeah, we see some shots of them loading the rinse in.
And she does, I like a moment of self-reflection where she's like, I'm doing a good job, but one day doesn't undo 6 months of stupidity. You know, she's aware. She's like, okay, I had a good day, but I got a lot of work to do if I'm going to like fix my relationship with all of these people.
For sure.
All right, let's continue on. Time to load the rinse.
Yeah, and she's, while they're loading it, and it's very funny, one of them calls one of the rinse a lard ass at one point. Yes. And she's giving a monologue about how, like, you know, the watching the rinse get loaded up is making her feel kind of sad and melancholy, and, you know, maybe part of it is because seeing those rinse get loaded up means that Hiroki is going to be leaving soon, and the two of them were getting along really well, and so she's going to miss him and doesn't want him to go.
He's maybe her,
you know, et cetera.
He's maybe her only friend. She's been climbing the corporate ladder her whole life, and she hadn't felt the need for friends, and Prosperity Wells is a long way from the headquarters, etc.
Oh, and the guy with the insane flat top and the striped shirt is Collins, by the way.
I like that shirt. It's a good shirt.
So,
sleeveless.
It is a good
sleeveless
shirt.
Or mostly sleeveless. I dig it.
Yeah, and then it's black, and like the stripes on it are like diagonal, like they look like a tire print, you know?
It rules.
It's kind of cool. So he's in like the command bay, I guess. And then Michiko comes in and basically relieves him so that he can just like go party for a while. And then he lets slip that he's like, oh, when the doctor gets back, let him know that the report from home office came up. And she's like, get back? Where did he go?
She's wearing a smock. She's wearing like a black bodysuit with a smock over it. And it's green in my book. I don't know what the printing is like in yours.
It's green. The bodysuit in mine is green, and the smock is pink with a white.
It's
belt.
Similar to like what the ninjas in Mortal Kombat wear.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yes.
Yes.
Interesting choice.
Anyway, she's like, wait, where's the doc? And he's like, a couple hours. He took a hover bike, which I believe Xenopedia identifies as a Yamaha hover bike.
It does, although I never personally saw that listed
I see
anywhere.
It down
in the actual
I see it in
book.
the panel. I see YAMA and then what looks like it could be an H. And then it's cut off by a crossbar.
But yeah.
But it also might be a Yamana. You know how they have to change branding sometimes in books?
Yeah,
But there's
could
hold on.
be.
There's a Xenopedia
But
article for Yamaha. This is worth it.
but yeah, when Collins mentions that the doctor went to Iwa Gorge to check out
This is an
more, you know,
this is an RX
go ahead.
5000 hover bike.
RX
Yep.
5000, got it. We know he went to go look for more face huggers, but I don't know that he told them that. But it cuts to the doctor while he's down in Iwa Gorge, and he has his little viewfinder, and as he's looking through it, a predator looks right at him through it, and he goes, "Yikes!" and gets scared and runs to the hover bike. And as he does, a whole bunch of other predators come out of the ship and chase him down.
Yeah.
And then there's a big action scene where he tries and then eventually successfully tries to start up the hover bike and chases away from them while they chase him down and try to attack him. And they do successfully manage to do it.
I like this scene. I like when it cuts to the dock. He's very clearly been hiding from them. Like he saw the ship land, and now he's peeking out to try to see what's going on. So he's sort of catching him like in the middle of this crisis situation he's in. And we're getting bits of his report over there, or bits of her reading his report.
Yeah.
Where it's all about like talk of hybrid silicon carbon construction, independently motile sperm or egg carrying organisms, etc. So like he's been researching the facehuggers.
The facehugger, yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, whatever he discovered, he's evidently excited about it as like the predators are descending on him. And she's like pulling up a map of the gorge and figuring out like there's nothing out there. It's a weird place to look for things, especially something living, as he's like crashing into predators and they're, you know, chasing after him. And then he flies his glider into their ship and blows it up.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my brain did not process correctly this scene the first time I read it. I saw him run over the predator, but for whatever reason, I didn't like, even though there literally is a panel that shows him driving into the side of it and there is a big flame coming from underneath the predator ship, my brain, for whatever reason, didn't register that, oh, that was the ship blowing up. For whatever reason, I thought he crashed into the side of the ship and then his hover bike was the one that blew up.
Yeah.
Not the predator ship, but yeah, he runs over one of the predators and then drives like it goes careening wildly, and he runs into the side of the ship, and that explodes, killing a whole bunch of people
with a badoom in a mushroom cloud.
With a big badoom.
As she comments, I hope he would find what he's looking for.
And then we see the leftover predators that are still alive pick up his skull, which apparently got blasted clear of flesh in the explosion, but was still whole.
Completely clean white, right?
Yep. And then he just picks it up and crushes it with his fist, and the rest of them celebrate and start shaking their weapons in the air.
It's
fun
that their ship looks like Boba Fett's ship. Like
it sure
the Slave
does.
One landed.
Yep. It sure does look a lot like the formerly titled Slave One. It's officially not called that anymore.
Oh, what's it called now?
Last time I checked, they hadn't come up with a name. It was just referred to as Boba Fett's ship.
They're taking that away. They're taking away our jizz music.
Yeah, dude. Star Wars is going woke.
just give us back the jizz music. That's all we want.
That's right. Yeah, they call that Jats now, and that's way less funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it cuts back to Machiko, and she's just like in like the command center reading his report. And then I believe it's Scott that comes in, and he starts drunkenly like aggressively hitting on her, and she's like, absolutely not. And he goes, you say no, but how about yes, actually?
Yeah. And she's like, get fucked. Throws him out of her office.
like literally like judo throw.
Yes.
We see Tom come in looking for Scott, and then he literally flies upside down, head towards the ground, whoomp, flies against the wall, and Tom's like, "Youch."
Yeah, so her outfit's she's dressed appropriate for this fight, right? Like she just
That's right.
like threw him across the arena, and she's ready to pull. Maybe she did like the uppercut, right?
Maybe she
Yeah.
did.
And she's like poised to fight him, and he's like, I was just coming to tell you that the shit was loaded, and we'll be making our first shuttle run. Eh? That's
Bruv, mate.
like them critters is going once they have a clean bill of health.
Health. Nice
I
word.
don't know. I can't.
I can
People
tell.
get it. His name is Tom.
I mean, I would say if they don't remember the gag from our issue 0 episode, then no, they probably don't
All right.
get it.
I'm not explaining it.
That's fine. So yeah, basically, Tom shows up and collects Scott, and she's like, "You want some more of this?" And he's like, "Absolutely not. We're good. It's fine. I'm leaving you alone, and I'll make sure he leaves."
My
you
mate
alone.
just had a few too many pints at the pub.
And then let's see, the two of them drive away back towards the Lecter, and Scott gets really mad that he got beat up by a girl.
Yeah.
And then when they arrive, they notice that all of the lights are off inside the loading bay, and he's like, "What the hell?"
He's real mad. He's like, "She can't do this to me. I'm a goddamn star pilot," right? And he's like, and then Tom's like, "She's corporate, love." And he's like, "Yeah, my back's broken, whatever." And then they're like, "What's all this slippery business on the floor, mate?"
Yeah, and then they walk into an open hatch that they see, and they're like, "Huh, why is this hatch open?" And they walk in, and there's like a dozen xenomorphs standing there staring at them, and then the door immediately slams shut behind them. Then we get continued next issue.
Yeah, they open the hatch, right? I think we see Tom hit a button. Maybe I don't know if they open the hatch, but he's like, "It's your fault, bruv. You had to go and mess with the queen bee," as he's face to face with a queen, and slam.
Yeah, Tom says, "Hey, who left this hatch open?"
Okay.
So the hatch was already open
Gotcha.
when they got there.
Bam, xenomorph reveal. So issue 1, we got a predator action scene and a xenomorph reveal, and you're like, "There's not enough predators and xenomorphs."
I am like that. Yes, you're correct.
I'm Kenny, and I want everything to be like Dredd versus Xeno aliens.
Oh, come on. You loved that fucking comic. Don't pretend like you didn't think that comic
It was
rocked.
pretty rad.
You're over there trying to make me look bad. I see how it is.
That's the end of issue 1, right? Issue 2,
Sure is.
aka chapter 5 in my collection here. The quote is, "We've got an emergency here." And we get the I don't know if your issue has this. This is where I've got the map of the colony.
Mhm.
And again, I just like it.
I believe mine was at the end of the previous issue.
Okay. There's a school and a recreation center. There's heavy equipment stores. I'm not going to read all of these locations, obviously, but I just like that they thought out the geography and the locations of things, right?
Sure.
Just a fun map. Just a cool map. That's all. I'm a nerd. Fucking sue me.
I'm agreeing with you. It's cool that they thought to do that.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listener who's like, "Shut the fuck up about the map, Neil."
I mean, to be fair, it is the second time now you've brought it up.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Okay. So anyway, next day, presumably, because the Double Suns is blazing, right?
Yep, sure is. Yeah, we start off with a Alien Resurrection style slow zoom in from outside to inside of the ship.
Yeah, man.
And we see a bunch of xenomorphs crawling around, and we see Tom and Scott are resined up to the wall in front of a big queen, and they are being forced to watch as a Rinth gets chest bursted by a chest burster.
Yeah, just gets chest bursted, right?
And all of these xenomorphs standing around and watching, their domed heads look a lot more penile than they normally do in most other alien media.
They sure do. There was a comment in the doctor's notes about how some of the face huggers, presumably, some of them have a smooth back and some of them have a rigid back.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an attempt at explaining why some of the xenomorphs have a smooth head and some of them have a rigid head? Or is he making a distinction between perhaps a royal face hugger and a standard face hugger? Because I don't know enough to know, but I like that he's making a distinction.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know either.
Mothercrewexpendable.net. Or,
that's right.
Comments somewhere, right?
That's right.
Yeah. What do you think of the way the xenomorphs look?
I think they look great.
They do. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I think the xenomorphs in this book look really good. I especially like the way they're colored. They're like mostly blue, but sometimes they're a little purple, sometimes they're a little green, and like no matter how you see them, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, they're always drawn like half in shadow, which is always really fun.
Yeah, which also
I think the Xenos look fucking great in this book.
That also fits in with Machiko's sort of monologuing here about like the sun, descending. There was darkness, echoing with the soft, wet sounds of rhythmic movement. She's talking about a dream she's having in this opening. And it's about the xenomorphs, we'll find out, but it's just like told in this like symbolic way, right? A screaming feral release, etc.
For sure.
The xenomorphs look great. I think they had to have the xenomorphs look great for this crossover, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that they could like get away with like phoning that in.
Yeah, and it's good too that the xenomorphs look really good in this book, because full disclosure, I don't think the predators look that great in this book.
They don't. They look like shit. I'm sorry.
They don't look very good, and like the way their heads are drawn in this book, they look like they have giant butt cheeks on top of their head.
They all look the same. Also,
yeah. First off, they all look identical, but yeah, like the way they're drawn, they have this big, wide, flat plane on the top of their head, and each of them have like this little ridge going right down the middle. But when you look at them from the front, their head is rounded, so their head literally looks like an ass. And so, like every time I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, yeah. The predators do not look good in this book, so I'm glad that the xenomorphs do.
Their armor is all essentially the same. I think there's some variation. The masks are all the exact same mask design. They look maybe they don't look identical, but they look way too similar to be able to tell them apart. Like the predators in this are not characters yet. I know that one of them will essentially be a character, but we're not at that point in the story yet. And it was my complaint in issue 0, right? That they were like, let's make one of them have a knot in his hair tied back in like a top knot, and let's make one of them have a cracked tooth, but let's make it really hard to identify that cracked tooth in most of his panels. I don't think the predators look great either.
Yeah, for sure.
But the xenomorphs look rad as fuck.
Yeah, this panel here of the queen just standing over, they're just like arbitrarily roaring while everything is happening, while the chestburster is coming out. The queen looks great. All the xenomorphs that are just kind of hanging around watching, they all look good. Yeah, man, I'm very impressed with the way the xenomorphs look in this book.
Hell yeah. All right, so as I said, Machiko's having a dream about this like writhing darkness and shadow, right? And then she's awoken suddenly by the other guy, Hiroki Shimura. She's wearing a Tokyo baseball jersey to sleep.
She sure is.
And she's like he's like it's almost noon. I know you were up late last night, but like
the doctor still hasn't returned.
He's like, I think you should come in person, so the staff sees that you're on this. And she's like, yeah, give me 2 minutes to get dressed, blah, blah, blah. They go down to the medical bay.
I also like how Hiroki keeps calling the doctor's wife Mrs. Doc. That's pretty funny to me.
Do you think they call him Mr. Doc and Mrs. Doc?
I hope so. That would be really funny. Because they are both doctors, after all.
I had a PE teacher in kindergarten, and his name was Mr. Man. And in all sincerity, I asked my parents if he was married to Mrs. Woman.
That would be a good bit.
And my mom likes to tell that story.
I would have been like, probably not, but you never know.
Anyway, shout out to Mr. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you're still out there jumping jacking.
So, the two of them head down, and Machiko is wearing another wild outfit. She seems to like green and pink.
Yeah.
Because she has green long shorts on. They're like shorter than capris, but they're still like below the knee. And she has a pink shirt with rolled up sleeves, and then she has like a really, really wide brown belt on.
All green outfit with gray belt, suspenders in mind.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
weird, still a weird fashion choice. The fashion choices are nuts in this book. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of characters have a lot of insane outfits, and Hiroki is still wearing that safari getup. By the way,
he is ready to go out to the plains. So he's like, yeah, Mrs. Doc wanted to go get a hover bike and go look for her husband, but he's like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, why risk having both of them out there? And he's like, exactly. So she's like, she comes in, talks to Mrs. Doctor Revna, and she's like, look, we got our best people out looking for him, but can you think of anything that might help us locate him? Something that maybe we didn't know before that didn't seem important? And she's like, well, he went to the gorge.
He went to Iwa Gorge because that's where she said they found them, and they were like, she?
Yeah, and she's like, the woman who works for Flying A, Roth. And then immediately, Shimura and Noguchi put the plan together. Like put the scheme together.
Yeah, they like immediately figure out what's going on. It's like, yeah, there isn't any like rinse out there that they were like ranching anywhere near there, and Machiko is immediately like, oh god, that's because they didn't find them in Iwa Gorge. She was lying about it, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
They found him somewhere else and they put him there. And he's like, well, why would they lie about it? And she's like, well, he wanted to report him to the doc to cover his ass, but he didn't want anyone to think that they were near his rinse. But then if his rinse got sick, his ass would be covered, because how would he know if they came into contact with anything? And then I was like, this doesn't make sense. All right, I'm going to give you another point, Kenny.
All right.
Does this make sense to you? Does his plan make sense?
I mean, do you mean his plan as far as like what Ackland and Roth did? Does that make sense? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable, but like, it's not a good idea, and they should have known that. Because yeah, like as she said, if there is something wrong with the rinse and they have to be quarantined, that throws out all of the work that they've done. No. You'd think that he would rather delay the harvest than cancel the harvest by them all being dead,
But what I'm saying is, why did Ackland, if he was going to dispose of them in a different gorge, why did he bring one to the doctor at all? Right? Why didn't he just...
That is a good point.
Because then...
I didn't even think about that.
Because then because the cover story of then like, well, then he's reported and he's done his due diligence. And then if his rinse were exposed, he can be like, well, I reported it. So I let the doctor know that I found these things. And how was I supposed to know they came in contact with it? Well,
yeah,
but you found them and you reported them, right?
Yeah, but if he says nothing, then they're not even going to know he was aware they existed in the first place.
But if he had just disposed of the face huggers and said nothing, nobody would have thought anything of it.
Yeah.
And he would have just, and he still would have said, how would I have known that they had been exposed to anything weird? And it's not like he was like Roth was the weak link where Roth could then say, oh, I found those things and I brought them to him and he told me to dispose of them somewhere else, because now she's just going to say, you know, yeah, he told me to dispose of them somewhere else and give one to the doctor. Like it's still the same fucking cover story. It's just worse because he's now brought it to everybody's attention. Like he's busted his own ass.
Yeah, like if he had just said nothing, like if Ackland had not even said anything to anyone and just like taken the dead huggers and just moved them somewhere else.
Exactly.
Then no one would have even known that he was aware they existed in the first place.
Right.
Also, I'd like to point out that during the panel where the two of them are walking down the street and where her line is those things weren't found in Iwa Gorge.
Yeah.
Her outfit is pink top, green pants. But then in the next panel, which starts on the next page, and his line is, huh? Those three panels, in the third panel, when she's walking away, she has gray pants. So that is absolutely a coloring error.
Wild, because it's all green in this book. So I'm wondering if you're reading like maybe the original and then they did a bunch of recoloring for this collection.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is the original issues. So yeah, that one of the things they did in the collection was probably fix the coloring, because she has a pink shirt on in all of them, but in this one panel here, we talk to Ross first, then Ackland. That line in that panel, her pants are like beige gray rather than green like they had been in all the rest of them.
This has been Noguchi Outfit Watch.
That's right.
She's got a pink half circle on her hat.
It's orange in mine, but yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's like a whole different book.
Yeah, almost. Good thing we both read it. Shit.
I like seeing the street. Yeah. I like seeing the street level here with like the store and then the West Gate or whatever, and then
the West Lock as they call it,
whatever this place is with the open sign. It's just fun. I like seeing the colony structures.
I like the big huge sign that just says sunblock.
Well, it seems important on this planet. Right?
It sure does. I mean, no wonder they need to make sure everyone can see the advertisement for it. But we got these.
The colony stuff was like my favorite. Not my favorite, but I really loved that part of Romulus too, where we got to see more of like an active colony.
For sure.
Because we got to see plenty of like a dead colony in Aliens and in some of the video games. I like seeing active space colony. It's just cool. It's fun. That's all.
And then we cut to maybe the funniest character in the whole book that replaces every instance of fucking with shittin' instead.
Yes.
So he doesn't shittin' believe it. And I don't know who this character is, but he's very funny. And him and this other person, who I don't know who either of them are, got sent out to Iwa Gorge to investigate and come across the blown up Predator ship. And he's like, holy hell.
Yeah, so the woman's name is Ikeda. I don't know his name. Spanner. His name is Spanner.
Okay. Yeah. Spanner, there we go. And so the two of them were sent out and find the remains of the exploded ship. And while they're investigating around, they pick up a big panel, and underneath it is that Predator that the doctor ran over on his hover bike earlier.
Yeah.
And discover he's actually still alive, but just unconscious. So they pick him up and load him on their ship and bring him back.
This guy, when he finds the wreckage, he's like, this is alien. This wasn't built in Osaka or Detroit or even Seoul. We're talking UFOs, chariots of the gods, right? And then he's like...
not forgetting that they're UFOs because they are currently not on Earth right now.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't shit and believe it. Can you... Yep. Well, whatever this thing is, it's unshitting believable. This thing is shitting heavy. This guy weighs a shitting ton, just over and over again.
It's very funny.
Yeah. The moment I met him, I wrote the intro.
I'm sure.
I didn't even finish the issue.
So, but yeah, like I said, they load him back on what they refer to as Copter 1. The guy
Yes.
weighs a shitting ton.
Hey, it rhymes.
They fly back, and then as they fly away, we see on like a nearby ridge a whole bunch of predators uncloak and had seemingly been watching him the whole time. And so they leap down off of this ridge and head in that direction. And then we just suddenly smash cut to this like family of ranchers just like living out in the middle of the nowhere
Yep.
eating tuna casserole for dinner.
Mom, dad, son, dog, about to
Yep.
eat some tuna casserole because they traded one of the Lecter's crew for some tuna, which is, dad's all excited about that. He's like, hell yeah, tuna out here? No fucking way. Right? And the dog's going crazy, runs
Yep.
outside. They think it's those shitting briar wolves again, right?
That's right.
But no.
Even though he actually does say damn this time.
I know,
And
but-
then he pulls out a shotgun, and the family goes out there just to watch. There literally is a panel. We see on panel a predator running a dog through the chest with his big spike weapon.
Yeah, man.
It is insane that they actually showed that on camera, as it were.
Unshitting believable.
He was about to take a shot and then goes ack and gets pulled up from the top of his head when another predator has reached down and grabbed his head and picked him up off the ground with a big spurt of blood.
Yeah, uncloaked off the roof and grabbed him by the head.
The dad's
dead.
name is Bob, apparently, and the son's name is also Bob because he's referred to as Bobby.
Shout out to Bob.
That's right.
Happy birthday.
And then as he's getting dragged away, Bobby and the mom run in through the house towards the back door. And then the door gets knocked over as another predator comes out and pops its like wrist claws out and then just like kills the mom, just runs her through with him.
Mom gets
and then
killed off screen, yeah.
Yeah, she sure does. And then the son leaps through a window onto like a nearby hover bike and then tries to turn it on and eventually gets it going just as a couple of predators are like reaching out to grab him. And then one of the predators pulls out like a big rifle and fires it and it blows out part of the hover bike. And so he's like having trouble driving it, but still manages to get away.
His Type 4 hover bike. He escapes the predators with tears in his eyes as we cut back to, I'm assuming, the main headquarters.
Yeah, insane scene, because I don't want to say the predators are acting extremely out of character, because this is written presumably before all of the later stuff that establishes how honorable they are, but it's like, looking back at it now, it is insane that predators would do that.
Well, they killed dad because he's armed, right?
That's true.
But mom and kid, seriously, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, but these are also, young, unblooded predators from what we kind of learned in our issue 0 thing from Dark Horse Rules, right?
That's true. And the Xenopedia article for this issue, for this comic, because they don't have a separate issue or separate page for each issue, but it sort of implies that the reason they're killing these people is because they saw a predator getting taken away by humans, and so they're just killing every human they come across until they get the predator back. The page sort of kind of implies that, and I was like, yeah, okay, but predators still aren't like that though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
weird.
I didn't like it. It felt very out of character to me also.
Yeah, it's again, the predators in this book just aren't really that great, both in writing or in illustrating.
Yeah.
It's just the predators just overall in this book in every way, just, I don't know. But yeah, like you said, it cuts back to presumably the command center or whatever, and we have Hiroki and Machiko versus Roth and Ackland.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, Miss Roth, you're in big trouble, little lady. right? If anything happens to the doctor, you're in fucking you're being held responsible.
Yeah, you're in shit and trouble. They're talking to Roth by herself at first. Then during the conversation, Ackland comes in and he goes, "Oh, you're trying to, get on my case and get me in trouble when I'm not even fucking here to defend myself, huh?"
Yeah. Where's the judge, huh? No judge? Judge? Can't face my accuser? Is that what's going on here?
And then when she's like, "Yeah, you violated company policy and jeopardized the security of the complex and its personnel. That's all the authority I need." And he goes, frontier justice, eh? And he's also smoking a big cigar the entire time.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Of course he is.
And then he's like, look, I didn't expect the doc to go out and look for more of those things, right? Before that, Noguchi, she makes a good case. She's like, look, I know you don't like me, and I know nobody here likes me, but everybody here likes the doctor. So, like, who do you think the colony is going to side with if the doctor has died, right? He's been taking care of everybody. He's been delivering everybody's babies. He's the fucking doctor, right?
Yeah.
If you put the doctor in danger, they're gonna hold you responsible. And he's like, look, I didn't think he was going to go out there and look for more. I had no way of knowing what was out there. I didn't know what was going on with the rinse. I didn't know if they were infected or not. I didn't want to delay the whole operation. Like suddenly he's just like backing up on everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, didn't it occur to you that your herd could jeopardize the whole fucking thing? And didn't it occur to you that that's why the Lecter is still parked out there? And
then that's when Machiko's like, wait, what? It is? What the hell? What?
Yeah. Wait, huh? What? And he's like, Shimura was like, yeah, look, there's been a lot going on. So I hadn't told you yet, but it's still parked out there. It's a giant fucking spaceship, dude.
She literally turns on the viewfinder and the ship takes up literally half of the screen.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, God, after being stuck in the heat all day, those things are going to be so awful to try to manage. Okay, fine. So she gets on the viewfinder again, or a different channel of it, and she calls up Collins in operations, and she's like, why the hell is the Lecter still here? And he's like,
And we were trying to contact them. They're not responding. What's Collins' shirt like now for you? Is it like full like diamond?
It is. It's like it's a diamond pattern, and the center actual the actual center where the actual like unbroken diamond shape is black, and then it alternates between black and somewhere between orange and yellow.
Okay, mine's just straight up black and yellow, black and yellow.
And then when he puts the hat on, the hat is green.
His hat's white in this.
All right. But basically, Machiko's like, why hasn't the Lecter left? And then Collins is like, I don't know. And she goes, then why don't you go fucking check? And he's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. And send someone out there to talk to them in person. I'll go myself. Don't waste your time with Conover. Talk to Strandberg.
And then
as in talk right to Tom, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Scott Conover sucks. Talk to Tom.
I would say, she already had a bad run-in with Scott. He was the one that was trying to drunkenly hit on her earlier. Yeah. And then, so we cut back to the actual ship, and inside one of the, hangars or whatever, we see the two of them are resined up onto the wall, and they're waking up and looking around, and they see Ovos and dead facehuggers and the queen sneering at them, and they're surrounded by a bunch of xenomorphs.
Two open Ovos in front of them, but she's like, go talk to the captains, remind them we're on a tight schedule, as we cut to them stuck in the nest in the resin inside the ship. Right. Fun transition.
And then from there, it immediately cuts back to Machiko chewing out Ackland. And then right as she's getting into it, she is cut in by the PA being like, yeah, we need you down right here to the med center right now. Something big is going on. And she's like, all right. And then as she goes, Ackland comes with her for some reason.
Yeah, well, they're hoping they found the doctor, right?
Yeah, she's hoping that it's Dr. Revna, yeah. But they walk in and they see the predator strapped to the table, and
Spanner's like, look what we've
yeah.
shit and found.
Yeah, Spanner, that was his name. He's literally standing up, waving his hands in the air, and Ikari or whatever her name was that went with him is like, God, I hate this guy. Next time you send us out, do not send him with me, please.
Yeah. His hair color has changed, by the way, in my book. He's brown now. Brown.
He's brown here, but I didn't notice what it was before, so maybe.
Her name was, if it matters,
Ikeda. There we go.
Ikeda, yes.
Yeah, it's Ikeda. So yeah, they're all standing around looking at the predator going, what the hell is this? And like she even mentions that in the handbook, it was considered so unlikely that they would come across aliens that the way in the handbook to deal with it is report it and then just wait until trained people show up.
Yes.
So she doesn't really know what to do. Yeah.
She's like, I don't know what to do if we encounter extraterrestrials. Jesus. Yep. And then Spanner's like, we found the ship. It's blown to shit, but we could probably get a salvage team in there. And Ackland's like, Jesus. That's it. Everyone's got a little comment here. Right.
Yeah, we find out that he is still alive. He has like a breathing apparatus on that that says that Miriam whipped up. Whoever Miriam is, I don't know.
Is that the doc? No.
It might be. I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, we see. That is Mrs. Doc's first name,
Miriam.
And so Machiko wonders if there's any connection between this guy and the face huggers they found earlier. And she's like, no, I don't think they're related or connected at all. And then she starts going through, and apparently he has had a whole bunch of weapons on him. And she's like, it feels like he was trying to invade us with all of these weapons that he has set up.
Yeah, and apparently he has a xenomorph head with him. Is that in your book?
It is, yes. And it has like a lightning bolt drawn on the forehead.
Yeah, I think it's their clan symbol.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, on his head. And they're like, this is either enough arsenal for a hunting trip or an invasion, right?
Yeah. And then they also notice that they've been here before because he has a weapon strap that is made of rinth hide.
Yep.
And then just as she's like realizing, hey, I've seen this thing before, there is a crash outside, and it is the hover bike with that kid Bobby on it has crashed outside of the building.
Yes.
They bring him in as he's telling his story, describing how his family got killed by monsters, and he freaks out when he sees the predator, revealing that was the monster that killed his family. We know that, but the other people, it's a reveal to them.
As a storytelling device, I like that when the crash happens, we see a dog barking, which kind of reminds us of the dog barking when the predators were attacking the family.
Sure does, yep.
Right. So
this time it's a Dalmatian, though, and he has a jaunty little scarf on.
He sure does. He's a handsome boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Machiko was looking at the xenomorph head when she's like, this is familiar. I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, little Bobby's like, fuck, there's one of them here too. And they're like, okay, we got to assume that this is an invasion. She calls a town meeting. She tells everyone what's going on. She's like, we got to assume we're under attack. Mr. Shimura is in charge of security. Able-bodied personnel will be expected to take a shift on watch. Anyone not on duty will remain within the main complex. 33-hour curfew in effect as of now.
Yeah, she initiates a curfew on top of that. And so they basically, shore their defenses, set up guards. And she even says they weren't expecting to really have anything like this. So they don't have a whole lot in the way of weaponry.
Yep, 15 scatter guns. 10 pistols earmarked for a police force the town has never needed. Prosperity Wells was never intended to be a fortress.
But they do the best they can. And as she even implies, again, doing that Stephen King thing that I really like, is that while she's like, they're shoring up their defenses and everything is going really, really good, by that evening, the work was finished. And then over a panel of a predator watching them do it, and then Cloak, she says, "We didn't know yet that all our work was in vain." That's the kind of stuff that I like.
Good storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we find out that 2 outlying ranches never responded to their communication, and Dr. Revna, the wife, is the only person that's refusing to move into the building. And so Machiko's like, all right, well, those two ranch families are probably both dead. I'll go talk to the doctor and try to convince her to come in. Shit. And they also find out that haven't seen Collins since he went to the lector, and she's like, Jesus Christ, do I have to fucking do everything myself around here?
Yes.
Fine.
Yep. It's one of those. So she goes first to see Mrs. Dr. Revna, because she keeps calling her husband her Kassar.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know, maybe it's his first name. I don't know.
No, it's my Kassar. It's something about, not that it really matters.
But and also she also says that she's going to the lector first.
Right. So they are, the doctor, she's Indian. Kassar is, I believe, an Indian term of endearment.
Okay.
Yes, that is a quick,
I believe you.
That is just a quick internet search. That could be wrong.
Cool. Hell yeah. But yeah, like I said, Machiko says she's going to the lector first to find Collins, and she says she's going to the lector first, and then she changes her mind and says, actually, I'm going to go talk to Dr. Revna first, and then I'm going to go to the lector. And I was like, then why did you start off by saying you were going to the lector? Whatever. He hands her a gun, and then as she sets out, she's talking to the doctor, and as she is, we see that the predator is awake.
Right. He's doing a lot better, right? His broken ribs are healing.
They don't know he's awake, but he's awake.
Yes. And again, presumably this is broken tooth, but his mouth is covered. We can't tell.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll learn next time.
Yeah, and like I said, she very explicitly was like, I'm going to do whatever I can to convince the doctor to come in. And then she goes, Doctor, I'd like you to come into the main complex. And she goes, no thanks. And then Machiko goes, okay.
Yep.
Nice work.
Doctor's reasonings are, if my husband comes back, he'll be here. Plus, I'm everything I need to watch after this big mamma jamma is here. Yeah. So I'm not moving. And then Machiko's like, all right, I'll post a guard. Peace.
Yeah. And then, she heads out, and then
she goes to see Riley and Mason, who are posted up outside the lector, right?
Yeah. And then both of them are going to be her armed escort that is going with her, whether she accepts it or not. And so they go up there and go in through an open hatch that one of them even says, someone left the door open. Not suspicious at all. Yeah. And he walks in through the door and literally immediately gets grabbed by 2 or 3 xenomorphs.
He gets that classic where he's like, I think we're worrying too much. I mean, look at the size of this complex. You'd need an army to attack this place. Oh, someone left the door open. I think that
it's probably fine though. Yeah,
I think the XTs, extraterrestrials, are gonna take one look at this place and go back home. And then he's just like, 1 second, give me a second to turn the light on, and then snatched.
Yeah,
bam. Ironic.
And then the moment he actually walks through the hatch, they grab him, and then as soon as they pull him away, a whole horde of them swarm out towards Machiko, and she suddenly remembers her dream and that these things were in the dream.
This is the writhing mass from my dream. It's a nightmare, and it was real.
Yeah, so she pulls out her gun and then unloads the entire clip, firing them away. And then as she gets cornered, suddenly one of them gets its head blown off. And she looks around, and there is a predator standing on the wall right above her, reloading and re-aiming his gun at the xenomorphs. And then we get more next issue, and that's how the issue ends.
That's the end of issue 2.
Sure is.
Come on, man. This book rules.
I don't know. It just didn't hit for me. I don't know what to tell you.
That's fine. I failed at convincing you. If anything, I highlighted the problems that I had with it more.
Yeah, I'm not saying you like it less than you did when we started off, but you certainly have more negative things to say about it now than you did earlier.
I don't like it less, and I still had those negative things to say going into it. They just don't take away from the overall experience for me.
That's fair.
I think some of it is maybe, look, we're throwing out issue 0. Okay. I understand that issue 0 is counted as a part of this. It's in this collection that I'm reading.
Yeah, but it wasn't intended to be when it was made.
It is a separate story from this. I think some of the compressed problems I have with the storytelling are a result of this being a 4-issue miniseries, even though these do seem to be a little bit longer than a standard issue, right? I didn't do a page count, but I think they're more in like the 30-page arena.
Something like that, yeah.
So some stuff is a little rushed, right? But I still think the way that it is written and the way that the story is unfolding is working really well for me. I think that the story is thoughtfully, the storytelling is thoughtfully considered for the first time they're doing like a major alien and predator crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I think that establishing the colony, spending time establishing the colony is a really good idea. I think that they're giving us a different take on space colony, right? They're not just doing aliens again, you know?
For sure.
They're giving
I definitely would not have liked it if they just did that. Yeah.
They're giving us something original in that arena. So we kind of, to get us invested in the human characters, because when you have predators and you have xenomorphs, you have to tell the story through the human characters. And I think that they're doing a good job of making us know and care about the human characters and the stories that are going on with them. Right. I think I think the way the story is unfolding in a logical way. And I think that the pacing, for being a 4-issue miniseries, to be at this point in the halfway point feels right to me, because again, we knew xenomorphs were coming, and we got the tease at the beginning at the end of issue 1. And we got the xenomorphs unleashed at the end of issue 2. And we got to check in with them, as the hive was growing and the people who got captured, in issue 2, right? Mm-hmm. We got the predators encountering humans a few times, right? With the doctor, and then, murdering the family, which wasn't great, but we got to see, that gave us the action we were looking for. Mm-hmm. And now we've got at the end of issue 2, we've got our main character encountering both alien species at the same time.
For sure.
So I think that in terms of pacing and structure, I think it's coming together just right at this point.
See, it's wild because I don't have a problem with AVP as a franchise at all. I like the issue, the concept doesn't bother me. I don't dislike it or whatever. And I think it is a cool idea that they had to cross the two of them over. But for whatever reason, the more we're talking about this comic, the more I realize that I don't think there was a way for this comic to be made where I would have liked it. Because now, the comic that we got, my issue with it is that I think it's boring mostly, and not a whole lot actually happens. But if they had made the book faster paced, give us more Predator, give us more Alien, all these other things, if they had made it not boring in the way that I find it boring, then I would have been like, we don't fucking know who any of these characters are. Where are they? What's going on? Why are they doing any of this stuff? So like, I'm complaining that they gave us all of this information, but if they didn't give us all of this information, I probably would have had a fucking problem with that too.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So I guess there's no winning with me. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Maybe you'll feel differently after the end of the series, right?
Maybe, because that's another thing where it's like, since this wasn't an ongoing comic where they just did the issues while they were doing them, it was a mini series where the story was planned out from the beginning. I mean, like, maybe my issues with it will be fixed by reading the back half, because this isn't like 2 issues of a comic. This is the first half of an individual story, you know? And so right now what I did was I stopped reading the novel halfway through because I thought nothing had happened, even though we still have half the story left to go, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe my opinion will change. I am open for that to be happening. So yeah,
and maybe,
let's hope.
Maybe my opinion will change also. Maybe this will completely shit the bed.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that we've read a episodic story that the ending of it we were like, I don't know, man.
The thing I'm realizing is that I have read this before, but it was so long ago. Like, I mean, I'm talking so long ago, like when I was too young probably to have any business reading this, that I don't remember anything about it. Like flipping through it, I recognize certain pages and panels, and I'm like, oh, I remember looking at that, right? But I don't remember. I have a vague idea of where the story is going from here, right? Mm-hmm. And I know, and it may not even be from this story. I know that I believe anyway, that some of the themes, some of the things that happen in this end up getting sort of reinterpreted and picked up for the AVP movie. Obviously very, very different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I remember when I first watched that movie, I was like, oh yeah, they're kind of doing that thing that they did in that Dark Horse comic years and years ago, right? So So I'm interested in what's going to come back to me as we finish this series out, right? But this first half, I didn't remember much aside from like them, finding the injured guy and the ship getting, the colony of xenomorphs in it from the aliens. And then that was more or less it, right?
I got you.
This thing about Machiko having a dream involving xenomorphs, I got no idea how that's going to tie into things. I have no idea why her character is dreaming about them. Mm-hmm. I think that in my mind, I kind of conflated that with the original Aliens series, because I know I used to talk about like people having like a psychic connection to the xenomorphs in these old Dark Horse series. And I think that I was picking that up from this, just from my hazy memories,
I got you. Yeah, and it's funny too that you say that. I'm glad that you brought up like her having the dreams about them or whatever.
Yeah.
Because when I was reading the comic originally, I didn't realize that that's what the story was trying to tell me. Like, she was giving a monologue over that scene of like us seeing the aliens in their hive, and then it smash cuts to the other dude waking her up from the bed.
Right.
But like, since we've already established that the monologue was something, it's words she was giving us about the events after the fact, I didn't piece together that monologue she was giving over the aliens was her describing a dream she was having about the aliens. So later on, when she finds the xenomorph skull in the Predator gear, and she's like, oh, I've seen this before. I'm like, where the hell did you ever fucking see a xenomorph before? Come on. Because I didn't understand that's what the comic was trying to tell me earlier on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't know if I love the idea in the place that I am right now in the world of alien fandom,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. But
I've never been a huge fan, just in general, of the idea of people having like psychic dreams about xenomorphs and stuff.
Right.
That idea just never really was that interesting to me. So every time it's come up, I've always just been like, eh.
Yeah, who was the guy in Sea of Sorrows?
Decker.
Yeah, how can I forget that
Alan
name?
Decker. Yeah, Alan Decker.
Yeah, like Decker with his connection to them, right? I mean,
I don't know, that's just not really that interesting of an idea to me.
especially once we learned it was not because he was a descendant of Ripley 8, he was just a descendant of Ripley. So why is he getting these things? Like,
I don't know.
It's an odd idea, and then I think Prometheus Covenant stuff trying to make the implication that the xenomorph. The modern xenomorph has human DNA in it, and that could somehow be a reason why certain people. This is me projecting an idea here.
Yeah,
but
I gotcha.
The idea that they have human DNA mixed in with them, that could somehow be how humans are picking up on their connection, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Of course, then we learned now in Alien Earth, guys, it's been long enough. We're going to talk about the events of Alien Earth, that they just click and talk at each other.
They can just do that.
With language and words.
And also, I cannot believe you passed over another classic example of characters having dreams about xenomorphs. Come on, dude. Where's the reference? Give me the reference.
Oh, are you talking about the Earthsavers, Duncan Fields?
Duncan Fields, baby.
Alien Covenant Origins, right? Yeah, I was getting.
That's right.
Okay,
good.
I got distracted because I'm still mad about aliens talking.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I mentioned it on the episode, but like that didn't bother me. I was like, yeah, fine, okay. Like, why wouldn't they be able to speak in some way?
Yeah, well, don't like ants talk by like vomiting into each other's mouths or something. That makes more sense to me.
I was gonna say, like, insects have ways of communicating, so why wouldn't xenomorphs? It's fine, but yeah, I cannot believe that I had to remind you about Duncan Fields, dog. Come on.
All right. I got a new thing to be mad about. Oh wait, well,
fair enough.
To be fair, I like Duncan Fields.
You do. That's correct.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm interested to see where that goes. I mean, she's a long running character in the. And she shows up in other AVP series is so.
Oh, Machiko does?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
We'll see her plenty of times down the line, I believe.
Gotcha. I don't think I actually knew that. That's kind of fun.
I think I got off topic. I went on like 6 tangents there. The point is, I'm interested to see to be reminded how this ends. I think as a kid when I read this, a lot of the inner workings of the colony was probably stuff that just I didn't absorb or care about because I just wanted to get to the monster parts. And now
it is wild to hear you say that, because that means that I, a 38-year-old man, have the same opinions as a literal child. That's great.
That's not what I'm trying to say here. I was not trying to say that.
Very cool. All right. Love it.
So, but anyway, in a lot of ways, it feels like I'm reading this for the first time, especially because it's been so long. But I think that having all those gaps filled in, I think like I really enjoyed this, and it fleshed out the world for me.
I'm mainly just looking forward to I don't remember what the ship's name is, but the one that's bringing the Chigusa sun in.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes awry.
Oh yeah. That's of course that's going to go awry. There's an interesting line when she gets that note. She says, that message that ship is coming. She says, "Trouble always comes in threes," right? Mm-hmm. Well, she was obviously thinking of the other two were two other things. I don't know if it was the specific struggles she was having, on the planet, but like 1 and 2 are obviously the xenomorphs and the predators, and now 3 will be the corporation. Right.
That's right.
So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
No
the
synthetics.
classic problem. No synthetics. That's right. I mean, unless there is a sudden synthetic reveal of a character, which we've gotten before. But
We have. Maybe she's a synthetic. She's not. She's not a
maybe
synthetic.
it would be funny if she was, though.
Yeah, and she didn't even know.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
right. Maybe she's an auton.
She's probably an auton.
She's probably an auton.
Maybe she's a hybrid.
Could be.
Yeah, we have that to reference now.
We do. That's correct.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to finishing this series because I really enjoyed this. I thought it moved pretty good, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy the rest of it too.
As of right now, based on where we're at and what kind of stuff they're implying for the back half, I'm guessing the second half of this comic is going to be a lot more in line with what I wanted out of the first half. So,
yeah, and I think you'll enjoy that more now that you know these people. Right.
Yeah. And that's another thing. It's like after I read the second half and I've taken in the full complete story, I'll probably be able to look back at the first half and go, oh yeah, that wasn't as bad as I remember it being or as I thought it was at the time. Now that I have the fuller context for where everything goes from there. But, it remains to be seen. We'll find out when we read the second half.
All right. Well, we're going to do that next. We're going to knock out issues 3 and 4. So we're going to do that now. That's the next episode, guys.
Yeah, we're not doing it right now. This is not a double length episode.
Here we go.
So.
Are you ready, Kenny? Live on air. Let's start reading. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's do it. I haven't read issues 3 and 4 yet. So.
Me neither.
I actually only finished issue 2 about 5 minutes before we started recording. So
nice. That's why we were a little rusty with the names, guys. You got to forgive us.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, speaking of which, when I first started this comic, I'll admit I did have a little bit of trouble keeping track of who was who.
It's tough, man. When they give you like 40 names.
Yeah, they throw a lot of fucking names at you real fast. And I was like, I don't remember who's who. Shit.
I'm flipping through tabs. I got tabs open for main characters just to try to remember who's who. Again, shout out to Xenopedia. You guys are doing great work.
Yeah, this honestly is not a paid ad. Like, we actually legitimately do use Xenopedia as often as we say we do.
Yeah. No,
like it actually is a legitimate and useful reference for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Should we wrap it up though?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Me neither.
Cool.
Kenny.
It's me.
Where can people find you on the internet?
My handle is at CYHOBBEZ. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on the PSN. I'm probably on one or two other things that I don't remember off the top of my head, but those are the main things that I use with that handle.
I got no personal plugs at this moment, but our show is on Twitter at Crew Expendapod, Blue Sky at Crew Expendable, Instagram at Crew Expendable Pod, Threads also at Crew Expendable Pod. Our website, where you can find all the places to subscribe to the show, is crewexpendable.net. Our email, where you can tell us all the things we got wrong in this episode, is mother@crewexpendable.net. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@crewexpendable. And if you like what we're doing and you'd like to support our efforts, you can donate some money at coolerbot.net.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give a shout out to Kenny. I know you read off some donors on the last episode. I want to say thank you to those people as well, since I wasn't on that episode. Thank you.
Scott and Stuart.
Scott and Stuart, thank you both for your contributions. We love you, and it is greatly appreciated. Mm-hmm. Thank you all for listening. Thanks again, Bob, for filling in last week. Kenny, thank you again for holding down the fort.
No problem.
We will be back next episode to knock off the last 2 issues of Dark Horse's Aliens vs. Predator miniseries from 1990. So until then, stay frosty.